Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced and welcome to another video on StencilJS. So in this one I'm going to focus on lifecycle functions. So if you're familiar with like React class components, you do have lifecycle methods, which are methods that run at different points in a component's lifecycle. So here are all the different ones. There's a lot of them. Okay, really the only one I want to care about today is connected callback. This will open every time the component is initialized and when the component is reattached. So if it was removed from the DOM and then reattached, it would run connected callback again. And so you can use this flowchart to kind of determine which functions will run when, to determine which one you'd want to use, but they all work pretty much the same way. You just define the function in your class and you can use it. And it'll happen at that point in the lifecycle of the component. But usually I'm using connected callback or a early on lifecycle function to do API calls. Okay, so let's go over the JSON placeholder. So we can get an API key and get some data. So, well, first I'll just kind of set this up. So let's go back to our button. Okay, I'm going to create another piece of state. Okay, at state. Okay, and this is going to be my data from the API. It's going to be a object with which I think I have to do any here. And no. I should probably create an interface. So one moment, let me just first get back this data here. Because if I want to do proper TypeScript, I should do the whole typing thing. So here we go. So there's three properties. Let me just, I can just literally just do this. Okay. So what I will do is, I think I should probably define an interface up here. Not sure if I can do that in the class. Cool. Interface. Okay, we'll call this interface API data. And this will be a number. I don't need all these quotation marks. So user ID is a number. ID is a number. Yep, no, we'll use it. Title is a string. And completed is a boolean. Okay, so that defines the shape of the API data I expect to get back. It's just a single object. Okay, and we can confirm that by looking at this. See, it's just a single object with those four properties. So that's what my interface describes. Okie dokie. And then what I want to do is, again, just find that here. So API data. Cool. So now I have the state that is defined like that. So it's properly typed. So that way TypeScript doesn't give me complaints later. Okay. So the next step would be to create or to define that. Oh no, I want that connected to the, there we go. Just want to break that off. And then what I want to do is just do that method. So here we go. Handle connected callback. And all I really want to do here is do the fetch. So fetch. Let me go get the URL. Okay. String. Okay. Dot then response gets your response.json, and then a dot then after that. JSON equals, and then here we're just going to just say data equals JSON, and it's this dot data because it's a class. Okay, cool. So that should do that. Okay. And what I want to do is in here, h2. And what are the properties? Completed, title, we'll use title. If this dot data dot title exists, then let's use this dot data dot title. Okay. And then if not, we'll just say loading. Okay. And then closing curly bracket. Cool. So let's go back over here. Back to the app. Refresh. Refresh. What? Let's see here. This .text. This app home. It's not liking it. Let's go back to some of the other ones. Undefined. Undefined. Here we go. Because these were the ones I started before. So here we go. Okay. So here's my counters. Let me refresh the page. Oh, that one broke too. Let's just restart the compiler. Not sure why the compiler is being so finicky today. Or is it even not running right now? It is running. Control C, npm start. Saying the component is undefined. I mean, I didn't do anything with that. And this is still there. Component my button. I didn't put any spacing or anything in between it. Oh, I think it's probably it's the interface that's causing the problem. So here's what I will do then. Okay, I'm going to create a file. I'll do it here in components. I'll just call it types.ts. Export interface. There we go. Okay, and let's go take it back to my button and import it. Import API data from /types. Okay, let's see if that fixes things, and that did. Okay, it didn't like me having to put that interface there, so I'll just have my types file. Okay. So there you go. See, it's making the API call because we can see the title here. So it's working. It's doing the thing. Okay, that's how a lifecycle function works. But you see, it's like not doing it over and over again. That's the beauty of lifecycle functions, is that connected callback is going to happen once. It's not going to happen every time I click this button, causing like a whole bunch of re-renders. And let's just to demonstrate that, let's just do a console log. So let's add a console log here. Console.log JSON. Which we should see 3 because there's 3 buttons. So if I do Control-Shift-I, I should see 3 console logs. Okay, can now read property title undefined. That's fine. vnode pass children. Okay, actually, yeah, let me go out of responsive here. I don't want to be in mobile mode. Okay. See, there's the 3 API calls, but if I click this button, it doesn't do it again. That's the beauty of lifecycle methods. Okay, we're not making excessive calls. It's not going to create some sort of infinite loop. It just runs when the component gets connected to the screen. And now if I do this, if I were to profile page, and then I were to go back, it's going to run, well, I have to do that. Interesting how finicky it's being today. Let me see if I can see any insight here. vnode pass as children has unexpected type. Is using the correct h function. Okay, can I read property title? vnode pass as children unexpected type. Okay, so it wants me to use that h decorator. Am I not using the h decorator? I have h. It says it's there. Oh, because I took it out. I took out the host element. So let me add that back. Let me see if that fixes things. You could actually use host as a fragment as well, as a side note. Let me add host back there. Now where is the h being used? Add component, add That's fine. Let's just refresh. See, it's doing the API call. That's undefined. This can also be the cause. I don't think I have any empty objects in my JSX though. Well, I'll let that go. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out is that I could use this method in my JSX. So if I wanted to, I could put this in my JSX. I just, again, I don't use class components all that often. So I forgot that I gotta do like the whole binding thing. So it would be like on click equals arrow function handle, or this dot handle click, like that. Wait, did I delete the whole function? I did. I just don't need this decorator. I could have done on click equals arrow function this dot handle click. Okay, so if you're more used to just doing it in JSX, you could do that as well. Yeah, it doesn't want to behave. Let me restart the compiler again. I'm not sure why the compiler is being so finicky today. Apparently I did something wrong. Okay, return connected callback. Everything looks in order. Okay, I fixed it. It was me. It's always me. So here's what happened. Okay, so before I had like this dot data dot title, it was because data is undefined, so it's initial check, which is such a silly mistake because I know full well that that's an issue. So the idea is, since I rather just test whether the data object exists, not whether this dot data the title exists, because data is going to initially be undefined. I mean, I could give it a default value, and then that would have made it work as well, but meh. Okie dokie. And yeah, okay, so basically again, just to show you this is working again. Nice, and let's click the button, and the button works. Again, you can write you can just write the functions in your JSX like that, just so you know. You can use host as a fragment, so if you're not going to actually use it, really what the host does, it gives you access to the host element of where it's mounted to, but you don't actually need to use it for that. You could just use it as a fragment and just put all your JSX in the middle and not have to worry about a single parent component. So you can, again, just use it as a fragment if you want. So that is that. Let me see how I'm doing on time. Yeah, I think I have time to show you guys custom events. So let's say I want there to be a event that gets emitted here. Okay, so then what we need to do is we need to bring in, I think it's event and event emitter. Okay, we bring those in, and then we need to define an event. So it's just going to be another variable. So I'm going to say at event, and I think the at event then is we put, let's go check the docs. The idea is you're creating a custom event. Here, yeah, that's where I thought I was going. Okay. Let's check one more time. Okay, cool. So we're just going to say my event. My event, and again, the type is event emitter. And then we can type what the emitter sends back. So we'll say that the emitter is going to send back API data. Okay, we're going to send back that same piece of data back up. Cool. So what we'll do is that whenever we click the button, okay, we're gonna have this dot my event dot emit. So the event emits, and then it can send back up data. Okay, it'll send back up the data. It doesn't like that. No, because it's this dot data, because it's a class. Okay, and then we can go back to app root and listen for that event. App root, and I guess we would listen to for that on the, or we can actually do that from app home. Here we go. App home. We will create a function. So it would be coming from the buttons. So we will just say on my event equals, and I'll just put an arrow function, and that should be event. And I'm pretty sure the event should come up as part of event.detail. So it would be like alert event.detail. Detail is going to be the object, so I just want to do the title, and then that'd be fine. So let's give that a shot. Let's just take a look at the compiler, make sure there's no compiler errors. Yeah, it rebuild finished. Listen is declared, but its value is never read. That's fine. Okay, that's all fine. Oh, okay, so we're back here again. Let's go here. Node pass. Which properties are complaining about? Okay, so there it's working. So now if I click the first one, oh, it's not listening to the event. Because technically, let's just go back to our app home. On the button, we should be listening for on my event. Or do I have to use listen to do that? Probably have to use listen. Okay. Yep, I think I have to use listen to listen for the custom event. Or can I? Yeah, no, I can use that there. On to do completed. Is there anything special I have to do there? Event emitter, that's fine. Okie dokie. At on my event event.detail.true. Let's also add a console log to make sure the event is actually even happening. Console.log event.detail. Save. Okay. Okay, so the event handler is not being triggered. So that's issue number 1. We know this function is being run because the number is being counted in app my button. So this dot my event dot emit, is that the right syntax? Let's double check. So to do this dot to do completed dot emit, that's what I did. So in that case, the event should be emitted. Yeah, no, that should be good. But let's try it with the listen. Let's just import listen from in app home. So console.log event details on my event. And again, is that called my event? So let's double check. My button, my event. Yep. This dot my event dot emit. This dot data. Yep. Let's take a look at this one more time. Maybe I'm misordering the buttons. Boop. Yep. No, none of these are generating the console log. So the elements, event listeners. Script, app root, shadow root, div. Okay, well, I'll let that go. And let's try this in app home. Let's add listen. Let me take this out of here. And where did it go? My button, here it is. So let's take my on my event. Okay, and let's add listen. Let's add a at listen, and we are going to be listening for my event, and then yes, capture equals true, and then on that event we'll just say handle my event. And let's take a look at how they do the listener. Yep, that's what I thought. At event, I'll just type it as any so it doesn't complain TypeScript wise. Event, and let's just console.log event. So let's see here, refresh the page, go to the console. Okay, so there, it is working. So see there's a custom event. So listen seems to work better. I'm not quite sure why it didn't work with the JSX listener, but you can see that it does work. And then if I go to detail inside event, because that's where the custom event stuff usually shows up, I see there's the data. Okay, so you can use custom events to send data back up the component tree. Cool. I'll leave it at that for this video. In the next video, we'll go over like things like slots and yeah, slots.